afternoon, everyone. As they always say that a session after lunch is always one of the toughest sessions. And now that I am a retired person, it's tougher even for me, because I'm used to my afternoon siesta, unfortunately. Having said this, I was supposed to be, facilitated by 4 experts. That has been unfortunately reduced to 2 experts. But then again, as they always say, quality is always better than quantity. And I am really grateful to 2 people who are right in the system, Mr. Benjamin Sporton and Dr. Andrew Missioner. For me personally, what happens is that as you start working in a certain sector, even though the world looks down on that sector, you always look up to that sector. And having worked at the decision policy making sector level in the coal sector for more than 2 to 3 years in some of its most toughest periods, you tend to develop a certain attachment to the sector beyond its natural flow. Having said that, I always believed, and I said it in the morning also, I'll just repeat once more, very briefly, that India should always consider itself lucky and fortunate that it is endowed with an abundant resource base of coal, even though not of a very good quality. Not every country is endowed with that. And therefore, our policy framework should always be determined keeping that endowment in mind. But we are also talking internationally. And greening of coal or clean coal becomes a very important aspect in the times to come. If it has to counter the forces which tend to inhibit its future growth. Now, I will not get into the specifics of it, though I have a little bit of an idea because, as I said, I am facilitated by 2 experts on the subject. But I would love to hear from them how far we are able to mitigate it. Is the mitigation a sustainable proposition? See, a lot of times we come up with good solutions, but when we get down to the economics of it, then we have problems. Because we are dealing with a sector which is the building block for the economy. If this becomes a high-cost sector, it has its ripple effect upwards on all other things. It has its ripple effect on industry, steel, on power, which in turn has its ripple effect on so many other things. So when we talk in terms of clean coal or green coal, we will always have to keep in mind the economics of it and the sustainability of it. With these short, very brief introduction, may I now call upon Mr. Benjamin Sporton, Chief Executive, World Coal Association UK, to give his address and his views on this subject.